Hey everyone, in the spirit of Halloween, I just wanted to say thank you guys for the amount of support that you guys have given to both of my channels so far, especially my second one. Holy crap. But anyway, I'm bringing back something that a lot of you guys have actually been wanting me to bring back for quite some time. I'm bringing back the good old scary stories. But anyway, for this special one, I actually had a little bit of an idea. In the comments below, after you've seen this video, I want you guys to figure out which one of these stories happened to me personally. And I mean it. There's 3 stories in this, and I want you guys to figure out which one was mine. 1, 2, or 3. Anyway, thank you guys for clicking on this video, and as always, I hope you enjoy. About a month ago, 2 weeks ago, we moved to Missouri after this happened. I was walking through the woods with my dad on a fishing trip to a lake that his dad used to take him to. I forget the name of the lake, but that's not important. While we were walking through the woods, we just talked about life, really. Then my dad brought up this whole metademon thing, asking me if I ever saw one of them. I said no, and he just dropped the subject right there. While we were walking through the woods, after we kind of stopped talking for a little bit, I saw my dad trying to see something. He kept turning his head from side to side like he was trying to look for something but just couldn't find it. Then, about 50 yards away from the lake, I then was stopped by my dad. He put his hand in front of me and then pointed towards the lake. He asked me, "Do you see that shadow right by the trees to the lake?" I looked to see what he was talking about, and I didn't see a damn thing. Not one thing was in the middle of that path. I told him no, and a little bit of worry spread across his face. Like he knew something wasn't right. I told him it's alright, and as long as I was there with him, we would be fine. And we were. A couple minutes later, we finally got to the dock that is in the lake. It's a nice dock, though I think it needed a little bit of work on it. It looked a bit moldy, but the hell do I care anymore? Anyway, we set up our fishing gear and started fishing. But all the while, I got this strange sensation. Like this feeling that I was being watched, but I couldn't figure out from where. Suddenly, I heard leaves being brushed from side to side on the path, like someone was walking towards us. Which, really, to be completely honest, since this was a good fishing spot, I figured maybe it was another fisher or something, so I didn't pay too much mind to it. A single footstep on the dock is what set me off. I just slightly turned my head backwards, and it's one of those things where it's difficult to explain what you're seeing, because it's just, I don't know. I saw what looked like a dark hooded figure. It looked like he was wearing a black sherpa and black jeans or something like that. The hood was over his head, so I couldn't really see much except for what seemed like 2 red eyes. I almost couldn't take my eyes off the man, but I knew I had to concentrate on my fishing. My dad wasn't even paying attention. I don't know if he didn't hear the footstep or what. Footsteps. sounding like they were coming closer to us. It's freaky. It was like a footstep every second, or something like that. They stopped right behind me. I turned around, and the man was behind me. He took off his hood, and I gasped in terror at the figure that I was staring at. My dad turned to me when he heard my gasp, and then saw the figure. He then went full ape shit on the man, punching him so many times in the face and even kicked him in the groin, but none of the shit that my dad just put on this guy did anything. He just stood there. We dropped our stuff and started bolting into the woods along the path. All the while I heard the man following behind us, screaming things like, "Come back here, I'm not done with you. You'll be sent to hell by me," or something like that. All the while, we were just running through the woods and hearing running footsteps behind us. It was scary to think that, what if this guy wanted us dead or something? All the while, we just continued running and running and running until I tripped over a fallen log. My dad was trying to pick me up, but when he saw the figure, the fucker left me behind. I was near the entrance of the woods, and right as I got to the outside, I heard the man's footsteps stop. I turned back, and he was just standing there. I then shouted into the woods to the point where my voice echoed through the trees. "What the fuck do you want?" The man just stared at me, doing nothing of the sort. He slid his thumb across his neck, giving me the old "I'll kill you" gesture. He turned around and straight up disappeared into the woods, almost like the earth just swallowed him whole. I continued running back to the house. I slammed the door, and my dad was there with my mom, trying to cope to what the hell just happened. I yelled at my dad why he left me behind, and he told me he wasn't sure if the man was going for him or if he was gonna go for me. He bolted because he wanted to get himself to safety. Then I remembered that I had my pocket knife on me, and the fact that I never used it on the man makes me more mad at myself. I had a little grudge against my dad during the first week of our move. I can't believe he left me behind like that. But why would I blame him? Ever since, I don't think I'm ever gonna go in those woods again. Even if I go to see family. Those woods, for some reason, they just hide something evil within. Basements are one of those places where everything just seems so creepy. Well, ever since I had this encounter, I've avoided my basement quite a bit. Hell, I even moved my gaming stuff to the upstairs, into my room. I just didn't like being in that basement anymore. Anyway, I'll explain what happened. About a couple weeks ago, I was downstairs in the basement. Obviously, the story is about my basement. Just playing on my Xbox. I was talking with a good friend that I actually knew in real life. I'll name him Richie for this story, to keep his name private. Me and him were playing I think Fortnite or Call of Duty. Maybe Call of Duty, since really, I really didn't want to get into the group of people that loved playing Fortnite all the time. So maybe it was Call of Duty. As we were playing, Richie kept telling me that something in my voice just didn't sound right. I asked him what, and he said that every once in a while, if I was silent, he would hear demonic whispering on my end. I turned around and looked behind me to see if something was in the basement, but there was nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing but me and a couple of boxes. Even a bin of Nerf guns that I have. Yeah, I'm a 16-year-old and I play with Nerf guns. Cut me some slack. You'd think a lot of people would. Anyway, I told Richie that everything was alright and that maybe it was just interference with my mic, since I had one of those headsets that had a mic on it. But he kept telling me, no, it wasn't interference. That it was something else. Suddenly, like 3 minutes later, I heard a box suddenly fall over. It scared me out of my skin so much. I jumped up from my seat and turned around. And there it was. My bin of Nerf guns had fallen over. I don't know how. It wasn't angled in any way for it to fall over. I told Richie I was going to be right back and set it back up. Suddenly, though, 3 sets of 3 knocks. Where the fuck were they coming from? I thought. I couldn't explain it. I looked around the basement, and again, completely nothing. That wasn't until I got to the laundry room door. Somehow it was pitch black. Like, not even a shine from the light would penetrate the darkness that lay in that room. I saw what looked like a pair of white eyes, which was freaky as hell. And that was what broke me. I told Richie I was done for the night and unplugged my Xbox and brought my Nerf guns upstairs with me, along with my Xbox and a couple other things. When I got to the top of the stairs, I looked back down into the darkness that was the basement that I had been in for most of my teenage years. And those eyes, they stared back at me. At the bottom of the stairs were those damn eyes. Suddenly, the fucking unthinkable happened. On the stairs, I could see a living shadow. Like, literally a shadow. Not just like a dark silhouette. A shadow crawl up the stairs. It was the freakiest thing I had ever seen in my life. I dropped my Xbox and I slammed the basement door. I had enough of that shit. I still don't know how to explain it. I'd gone down there a couple of times after that, just to see what the hell could have caused all of that. The bin falling over, the eyes I was seeing, but nothing that I could possibly come up with could ever account to that living shadow I saw crawling up my basement stairs. I never thought that this could happen to me. Never once, ever since I saw Death Knight for the first time, did I ever think that one of those fuckers would come to me. Never did I think of that. That is until 2 years after I met him. I realized there were more than I could ever have dreamed of. I was about to head off to bed for the school night that would proceed to come the next day. As I was getting into my bed, I just felt this dark presence, but yet I could see nothing. I checked my closet, I checked out my door, hell, I even checked under my bed like a little child would do against monsters or something like that. Nothing. So, I got into my comfy clothes and I did a little bit of some YouTube watching before I finally drifted off to sleep. I had my TV on, which isn't really a habit, but it's just something that I do. Anyway, about an hour later, I was rolling around in my bed trying to get some sleep, but I couldn't. That's because something was clawing at my closet door. My eyes shot open with fear. I looked over at my closet, not flinching, not trying to move. The scratching still happened. It was as if something had, like, extremely long claws or something. These weren't the scratches of a weapon. These were the scratches of nails. Suddenly, my closet door was bumped by something. Still frozen in place, and with my TV still running and lights blaring all over the room, for just a split second, I saw not him, but a darker him. I saw what seemed like him, but with purple eyes. I jumped out of bed and I ran to the bathroom. Yeah, I know, not downstairs. Suddenly, knocks. Freaking knocks. I quietly whispered to whoever was there to leave me alone and let me sleep in peace. The knocking continued. It went on like that for 5 minutes before I looked at my door and nothing was there. I literally zoomed back into my bed, flipped over on my other side, and pretended to sleep. Something bumped my bed. I turned over, and I saw that purple-eyed figure standing over me. He looked me straight in the eyes, like Death Knight did to me. He looked through to my very soul. He then put his finger over his mouth and said, "It's all right, little child." I was so frozen with fear. I thought I was suffering from sleep paralysis. I stared up at this figure for 10 minutes. The only thing I could move were my eyes. This figure walked out of my room. But before he did, he turned around, said shush to me again, and he said, "I'll be in your nightmares." Then he disappeared into the darkness. Suddenly I realized I wasn't so paralyzed anymore. I shot up from my bed, looked around to see if there was anything there, but there wasn't. I didn't get a wink of sleep that night. I thought that seeing Death Knight was good enough for me to go mad. But seeing that shit, that broke me for that week. It literally broke me. A couple of people the next morning when I got to school saw me and wondered what the hell happened last night. And I told one person, I think the devil just came to me